The overwhelming sentiment is that MiSide masterfully blends several genres, creating an experience that is both captivating and unsettling. While it's initially presented as a lighthearted dating sim, the game quickly reveals its true colors as a psychological horror experience. It's not a jump scare fest, but rather it instills a sense of unease and dread through its narrative and atmosphere. Players consistently highlight the unpredictable shifts in gameplay, which constantly morph from cozy, intimate interactions to terrifying and surreal scenarios. This is noted as a positive aspect of the game. The central characters, the Mitas, are without a doubt the biggest draw. Many players have become deeply attached to these digital beings, with several expressing a desire to spend more time with them. There's a particularly strong affection for Mita with the hat, often referred to as Kepochka, and the recurring requests for a peace mode underscore the community's longing for a more relaxed and casual interaction with these characters. However, underneath the charming exterior, a darker undertone is present. Players are intrigued by the yandere vibes of the Mitas, with some joking about the character's obsessive tendencies and others being genuinely disturbed. The game's visual style receives high praise. The mix of anime-inspired character designs with surreal and sometimes minimalist environments creates a unique aesthetic that resonates well with players. The frequent shifts in setting and mood are highlighted as a testament to the game's creativity and ability to keep the player engaged. While some criticize the simple art style, the general consensus is that it's fitting for the game's overall design and allows it to effectively utilize visual metaphors. The animation quality is surprisingly high for an indie title, especially for something developed by a small team of only 2 people, a fact that receives a fair amount of awe. The integration of in-game minigames, whilst not always positively received, adds a unique layer of diversity that is admired by some and is seen as ambitious and refreshing. Some players feel these minigames are overdone or repetitive and take away from the horror element, which highlights that perhaps some more refinement is needed. The game's story is another point of praise, with many appreciating the ambiguous nature of its narrative and the absence of explicit exposition. Instead of spoon-feeding the player with answers, MiSide encourages them to piece together the events and draw their own conclusions. This approach has led to different interpretations of the story, sparking conversations and creating a sense of mystery and replayability that many players enjoy. However, some also express a desire for a more complete and clear understanding of the game's lore. While the overall reaction is positive, some players do raise concerns, including some complaints about bug occurrences and the game's short length. Some also feel that the endings lack closure, which aligns with the narrative ambiguity of the story, however, is still a source of critique. The musical score, while often praised for fitting the atmosphere, isn't considered particularly memorable. The balance of the minigames also receives some mixed criticism, with players feeling that some drag on for too long or just aren't enjoyable. Finally, some players noted the presence of what they consider to be an issue of misleading language in the settings. There is a clear sense of community spirit in the comments. The frequent mention of the game being created by Russian developers seems to generate a sense of national pride and support. Players also actively encourage each other to buy the game, highlighting its value for money and uniqueness in the indie market. MiSide is a game that defies easy categorization. It's a captivating blend of charming characters, surreal horror, and engaging gameplay. While it may have its flaws, like the short length, occasional bugs, and minigame inconsistencies, the overall experience seems to be quite impactful. The game has sparked a genuine connection with the Mitas, and that alone speaks volumes about the game's success. It appears that the most common criticisms are aimed at the game's apparent unfinished state and desire for further content, both of which are actively acknowledged by players as things they hope will be addressed in further updates. It's safe to say that MiSide has left a notable impression and has earned a dedicated following who eagerly await more content and are optimistic about the future of the game.